Hello all. So now I'm going to talk about the no-code framework that we have built at Link. So what we are trying to build at Link is to have a framework in place that is used to generate code. And the code that is generated is actually compatible with our core services or distributor services, which are essentially involved in moving data between different systems and system types. So the code generation engine, which is running in the background, essentially leverages a machine learning in-house custom model which is used to predict the mappings between different entities. And eventually it spits out a config JSON, which is then fed to the code generation engine to generate the code. So the idea or the main vision behind this entire thing is that we should be able to achieve 100% code generation through this process. Uh, Also manage the life cycle of a connector. So by life cycle, I try to mean API upgrades, then security patches, deployment changes, and things like that. So I will straight away jump into what exactly the process looks like. So this is the UI for it. So, and it has a configuration wizard which is used to uh, create a connector. So I will just go through that. So first of all, I will just give it an application name. Say that I am creating one for Bring Commerce Retail POS and say that it's of type retail POS distributor service. It's of type retail POS. And then I give it a version. I don't, so you can put the icon URL, the health check URLs, which will check if the APIs are healthy or not, and things like that. You save and continue. So what happens is that whenever a new app integration requirement comes to us, so the idea is that any developer or any technical PM would go through the API documentation and they will create a Postman collection depending on a certain folder structure. And as soon as that is created, they can come and they can upload it to the UI, which will then be used to generate the connector. So I've uploaded the collection, and now basically I have to fill in certain other details. So this place is where basically we are trying to get the details from the API response, as in like whenever the OAuth happens successfully, what exactly we need to fetch from the OAuth response. So that's what it says. Okay, I need to fetch the username, email, name, organization ID, external ID, and things like that. And to identify that what the uniqueness of an account is, we just say that okay, it's the merchant ID, which is basically the organization identifier and is required and is also unique. Now that you see that we have this orders endpoint, so the Postman collection had only one endpoint at this point for the demo purpose. So the idea is that each of these endpoints will be mapped to a particular endpoint inside of our system. So say that order is mapped to sale, and then we go and do the mapping. So whenever we try to go and do the mapping, you will see that there are already pre-filled values that are here. Um, so this is where the ML model actually kicks in, where it tries to map the payload that was there in the Postman with the payload that we support. You can see that we are able to map all these fields. So now I'm going to go and save the mapping. So as I do that, I click on next, and this is the JSON that is generated out of it. So what happens is that so this JSON needs to be exported and it needs to be fed into the engine. So you see that this application has been connected, has been generated. So what will happen is that this will generate something like this. So I will quickly show some code that has been generated using this. So the code generation engine actually generates an SJS service or a repository which has all the workers which are supposed to sync data from the external system, schedule syncing, refreshing the token, access token, public API, OAuth API, internal API, and things like that. So everything is baked in, and all the deployment files are also here, like Docker file, Docker Compose file. So everything is kind of configured and generated from a generation standpoint. Yep, I think that's it. Thank you all.
Link, we make integrations easy.